happening to you all day, every day, whether you know it or not. You are so magnificent in your physical bodies, you have forgotten you are vibrational beings first and foremost, is that all day, every day, you are becoming more. There is a vibrational version of you that has become and is becoming, that is the main event of you. When we say you are the creator of your experience, we're not kidding you even a little bit. You are not just the creator of your experience. You are the creator of you. You are the creator of the vibrational version of you who exists in a vibrational reality. Now, many of you would say, oh, this vibrational version, I don't know if I want to talk about the vibrational version. I'd rather talk about the reality that I see around me. And we say, that would be fine if you, the larger part of you, were not standing over here in this vortex of creation as the vibrational version of all that you have become. But you have become a vibrational version of something more than you know here in your physical reality, because the manifestation is slow to catch up with the vibrational version. So if you spend your time focusing upon the reality, looking at the money that is now in your checkbook, looking at the people who are now in your life, looking at the person who is now not in your bed or that you would like to be in your bed, as you are looking at what is, as you are facing the reality of what is, you are in most cases depriving yourself of vibrational alignment with this vibrational version, which is where the larger part of you stands. And so when you do that, you deprive yourself of the alignment with who you really are. We're not just talking about the stuff that you slow down. We're not just talking about the money that you slow down, even though you're slowing it down. We're not just talking about the empires that you are putting on hold, even though you're putting empires on hold. We're not just talking about the creative things like books and paintings and sculptures and music that are ready for you to harvest, even though you are putting them on hold. We're not just talking about those things and those experiences that you are depriving yourself of. We're talking about you depriving yourself of, in this red hot moment, the fullness of who you are, the clarity, the stamina, the exhilaration, the flexibility, the dexterity, the knowledge, the knowing of who you are, the love of who you are, the life of who you are. You see, you can't have it both ways. You can't look where you've been and at who you are at the same time. Now, here's the thing we really, really want you to hear. And if you can get this, you'll have it all. The vortex of creation, where the vibrational version of you is present tense, as far as the creator within you and as far as we are concerned. When you ask for it, it's present tense. But you, bless your hearts, you've gotten so good at exploring the manifestation that you don't want to call it present tense until it's in your driveway. You don't want to call it present tense until others can see it. And we say, oh, it's so slow to have to wait for everybody to be able to see it. It's easy to tune in to stuff that's manifested. So what preachers and teachers have been saying to you for a long time about faith really applies here. Because what faith is a vibrational attitude. What faith is an awareness, a vibrational focus, an attention to what's in this vortex of creation. And if you can focus upon what you've asked for and no longer beat the drum of why you ask for it, I want this magnificent thing because it's so awful not to have it. And because it's so hard over here without it. And because I deserve it, I really deserve it, even though I don't have it, I deserve it. And we say all of that drum beating from the perspective of what is not yet manifested holds you in a holding pattern that will not let it manifest. You have to let go of the absence of what you want before the presence of it can feel into your experience, you see. We want you to feel the reality of this vortex of creation. This is vibrational reality. We're not making this stuff up. Everything that you see that is manifested was first vibrational reality. And once it's been vibrational reality, everything that you see is first a thought upon longer until it takes form. Everything that you see that is manifested was first vibration. And the gap, the amount of time that it takes from the offering of the idea and flowing it vibrationally into your vortex and the full-fledged manifestation of it is as short as no time when you are a vibrational match to what you're asking for. The amount of time it takes for you to manifest things wanted is the amount of time it takes for you to get in the vortex and consistently stay there. So when we say to you, which will be the answer to every question that you ask today, it will be very boring by the end of the day. Go to the vortex, go to the vortex. And so some will say, well, what does that mean? And we say, it means stop doing whatever you're doing that's keeping you out of the vortex. What do I have to do to get in the vortex? Nothing. Well, then how come I'm not in there? Because you're doing stuff that holds you out. Okay, so what do I have to do to get in? Nothing. Well, then how come I'm not in there? Because you're doing stuff that keeps you out. Abraham, are you deaf? Can't you hear what I'm asking? I'm not in the vortex. How do I get in? What do I have to do? Nothing. But you have to stop doing that thing that's holding you out. And your question is fair, because we've never seen anyone who could just stop thinking that thought. Because when you say, I'm not going to think that thought anymore, you're thinking that thought you're not going to think. I'm not going to do that anymore. Have you ever done that? I'm going to quit smoking. Sure you are. I'm not ever going to eat that again after this one. So what you have to do is start doing things that allow you vibrational proximity to the vortex. This vortex that spins in a place of pure positive energy, what that means is no resistant thought. In other words, when you say, I really, really want, what do you want? Call something out. I really, really want $100,000. I really, really want $100,000. That, if you could leave it right there, is a pure thought. But if your sentiment is, I really, really want the $100,000 that I don't have, not a pure thought. When you say, I want the money because I need it, not pure. I want the money because it is exhilarating and because it gives me freedom and because I can do this and this and this. When you talk about what you want and why you want it, it is usually a pure thought than when you talk about what you want and where it will come from and when it will come and who will bring it and how you will get it. In other words, there's a lot of things you do in your action-oriented exposure to life that hold you in vibrational patterns of disallowance. So we call those vibrational patterns of disallowance resistance. Resistance to the natural flow. And whenever you got resistance going on, it's indicated to you by your emotions of resistance. And emotions of resistance are always negative emotion. Emotions of resistance don't feel good, and emotions of allowance feel better and better and better. So if you have an emotion of resistance, so you're angry or frustrated or fitful or worried, when you feel worried, that means you've got this residual of resistance going on that is keeping you out of the vortex. And so you walk around not in the vortex, so comfortable with not being in the vortex that you don't even know what you're missing. But when you take the time to focus yourself into the vortex deliberately, into the vortex where your clarity is and where your exhilaration is, where your perfect rendezvous in every moment with everything that you want, where the universe is able to give you in moment after moment so much full life experience that you wonder why you would ever step out of the vortex. Once you consciously and deliberately spend more of your life inside this vibrational state of being that we are calling the vortex, where your own vibrational point of attraction is so purified by your own deliberate thought focus that you are not setting up your own resistance to your own well-being, then you begin to remember why you were born and what this physical experience was supposed to be about, what you had in mind. Now, there are a lot of people, in fact, most everybody you know, spends most of their time outside the vortex. They don't know about vibration. They don't know what their emotions mean. They want to be positive and they try, they make some effort to be, but they're not really managing their vibrational flow very well. So most people are outside the vortex most of the time. And then they gather together in groups, on the internet, or just in neighborhoods. Law of attraction sort of brings them in their similarities together. And they come up with conclusions about how they and everybody else should live life. Laws are made from that group. In other words, they are the ones that decide. They sort out the good piles from the bad piles, and they decide what's the right way of life and what's the wrong way of life. And we will acknowledge that among those outside the vortex efforters, that it is evident when someone is trying and when someone isn't. They have diplomas. They have better paying jobs in many cases. They live in nicer houses in many cases. You can tell which ones are trying and which ones aren't in that out of the vortex group. But friends, it's the out of the vortex group. It's like being king of the molehill. It's the out of the vortex group. In other words, the masters come from in the vortex. Your clarity, your inspiration, your creations, your inventions, your wonderful new ideas, your zest for life comes from the inside the vortex group, you see. So we're not wanting to make you feel bad when you're out of the vortex, because certainly it adds to the step one experience. We just want you to get this into perspective and realize that next time you find yourself really digging in and trying hard, that you're working against yourself. And you might want to just chill for a while and remember who you are. Maybe listen to some meditation. Maybe count your breathing. Maybe get in sync with some music. Maybe bask a little. Maybe do something that is pleasing. Maybe do anything or everything that you can think of to release the tension that is holding you outside the vortex. And it is our promise to you that once you are aware of the existence of this vortex, and once you are aware of your guidance system, which lets you know where you are in proximity to it, and once your mantra, once your motto, once what really matters to you is, today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to see. I'm agreeably oriented. I am appreciatively oriented. I comment on things that I appreciate. And when I feel an impulse to criticize, I sit on it. I don't go with it. I don't make more of it. I don't amplify it with words. I don't amplify it with groups. I don't comment on it. I no longer am trying, efforting myself into a better place. I'm practicing the art of allowing. Because I've now discovered that my inner being is in my vortex and calling me home, calling me toward all that I've become. And if I am even hanging around in the vicinity of hopefulness, my vortex calls me in on a really regular basis. And once you start living more of your life from inside the vortex, you'll have more insight. You'll have better timing. You'll feel better. Your sense of humor will be keener. Your sense of intelligence will be keener. You'll think of things, those to-do lists. You won't have to drag them around. You'll be at the grocery store and you'll remember what you want. You'll be moving through life and the right thing at the right time will occur to you. You'll be tuned in, tapped in, not to a memory bank, not to a to-do list in your head, but you'll be tapped into the vibrational equivalent of all that you have become, who knows who you really are in relationship to who and where you are at all times, in all moments of all days. Talk about a concierge. Talk about an impulse giver. It's like walking through life with somebody who not only knows who you are, but loves who you are, who is constantly hinting and opening doors and orchestrating circumstances and events in order to allow you to be all that you can be. Hesitating just at the right moment so that you're not in the elevator with that person, but you are in the elevator with that person. Finding yourself hesitating in traffic just right so that it opens for you so that you can make your lane shift. In other words, there are so many things that many of you might call inconsequential or insignificant that just make the flow of life so remarkable. When you live life from inside the vortex, you're living life as you intended. Because you are a powerful creator who said, I'll go forth, I'll choose from the buffet, I'll identify what I want, and I'll line up with it. And I'll do it again and again and again and again, because lining up with who I am is the zest of life that I've always been looking for. You think it's the manifestations, and we want you to have manifestations. We're not trying to talk you out of the glitter or glitz or beauty or anything that you want. We want you to have the manifestations. But we're here to tell you, you didn't sign on for the manifestations. You signed on for the movement toward what you want. You signed on for this 3-step process. You signed on for the choosing from the buffet, for the launching of the rockets, and for the exhilaration of lining up with who you really are. Coming home, coming home, coming home. So, we're eager to talk.